Hello, Star Wars players! Welcome to another exciting episode of SWCCG Holotheatre with me, Jerry, and Dan. Say hi, Dan.
Jerry, I thought we discussed this last week. You don't tell me what to do. But no, hi everybody. Yeah, we're coming in for episode number 3. I don't think we ever get this far, but what can you
I
say?
have a co-host for 3 weeks, guys. This is great.
What do you mean you? Whoa, never mind. We're
On
not
my,
going to get into this.
it's been a struggle. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. So this is going to be our big show right before Worlds. Worlds is this weekend. Everybody's tune in. I know Jerry and I have discussed doing commentary, getting up ridiculously early. I know it's what 2 a.m. for you, 1 a.m. for me,
I haven't figured it out
and then
exactly, but yeah, it's something like
yeah,
that.
it's going to be like ridiculously late, ridiculously early for both of us.
Hey,
But yeah, we're going to do it.
take one for
It's
the
it's going to
team.
be fun. It's going to be fun. It's taking one for the team. Lots of coffee is going to be flowing, at least for me.
Yeah, I
What
don't drink
about
coffee, but
you?
Chris Gogolin said I could buy like some Red Bulls and then just send the bill to the PC. So I'm gonna do that. So
Wait, what?
maybe you can get a bag of coffee out of it.
I mean, I just bought a whole thing of coffee, but I
Well,
mean, if I can
send
get
the
some Red Bulls, I'd rather
send
have Red Bull.
well, send the receipt to Gogolin. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Um, so yeah, today we have Dan and I are going to do some discussion relating to worlds for the first little bit, and then earlier this week I sat down with Silver Glen, Justin Branch from the United Kingdom. We had about a half an hour little interview where we kind of talked about worlds and the OCS and all the good stuff there. So we'll kind of lead with me and Dan, and then finish with that interview. And then next week for our show is the big OCS draft that we have the pleasure of being the the hosts for. So
Yeah, I think we might be able to get Chris onto it just because he runs it, and I think we'll talk a little bit about Worlds, the
right,
wrap
there'll
up,
be some wrap up for yeah, for
see
sure.
see which American won.
That's right. Yeah, which trophy, which zip code the trophy currently resides in. Um,
Well,
but yeah,
Does Europe have zip codes, or is it just
I was
States?
assuming that they didn't because I made that statement, but now I'm probably going to get burned by it. But
Yeah,
anyways,
let me. So go ahead and tell the viewers what we're going to be doing today.
all right. So our first segment is kind of our take on like a uh, pardon the interruption like style sort of talk show. We're gonna do a segment that I like to call "It's a Hit" or "Boring Conversation Anyway," and that's a work in progress. If you guys can think of a better title, make sure to send it in to our email address that's on your screen right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we'll keep that up, or we're going to keep that up the entire show, so that way people actually can write it down.
yeah, it's just gonna
What
stay there.
intriguing.
I don't feel like
Hopefully,
editing that. So yeah, we're gonna go
hopefully.
back and forth on some topics and decide if it's a hit or if it's a boring conversation anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jerry got off of work at what 3 o'clock
I
his
got
time,
off.
or 3 o'clock my time.
Yeah, I got off a little
What was
early
it?
today. I got off like at 2 o'clock my time. It was pretty slow at the restaurant today, so I got to duck out early.
Uh,
But
so I gotta ask before we start, why do you have a shirt that says Chris on it?
oh, it's a musician shirt. It's Chris Farron, and
Oh, I thought you were supporting like I don't know one of the Chris's that we got at Worlds. I know Chris Menzel's gonna be there running it, but it's the
I'm
TV.
generally a
Who knows?
fan of people named Chris. I've met plenty of them, and most of them are pretty good guys. You usually got to
Most.
look out for Jeffs. Jeffs are usually kind of squiffy.
Well,
Um,
we got a few Jeffs in Star Wars. I wouldn't say Jeff.
well, how many Jeffs are there in Star Wars?
Jeffrey Johns.
Jeffrey. Oh, he's definitely an exception to the
Yeah.
Jeff rule. That guy is great. But
For me, it's not Jeff's or Chris's. For me, it's Josh's.
Josh's okay. All
Yep.
right. They just Josh you. Fucking Joshers.
Oh God, no. That was bad. You should feel bad. So you want to start off with topic number one?
Okay. So our first topic here for the debate portion of the show is there will be more than 3 players from Europe in the top 8 at Worlds next week. Is that it's a hit or is that just a boring conversation anyway?
I think that's a hit.
So
And the
Dan
reason
is
I'm thinking
saying
is, I
it's a
mean,
hit.
you've got Emil, you've got plethora of other players. I mean, you've got
See, I had
not o-
an easy time
we've
coming
got.
up with three, but more than
I was
three
gonna
is
say
the
like
question.
you got Emil, you got Bastion, you got Angelo, you got our interview today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Cohen Masan. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just gonna call you Cohen. You got DDM returning.
True.
DDM's one of the like he's been playing a lot on Gemp.
Right. No. Yeah. I'll.
I
We'll have
mean,
some
not
more
only
talk
that, I
about
mean,
him for sure.
you got Kieran, you got Tobias. I mean, you've got so many good European players that are traveling an hour, maybe two, to go play Worlds. Yeah, I mean, in their backyard, they're going to defend their house.
As the
They are going to defend their house,
as they should.
and I think not only three. I think I can see maybe four making top eight.
All right. Well, that would be it's a hit then. My answer is going to be just boring conversation anyway, because uh, I feel like three is the magic number for the Europeans this year.
Well,
Um,
did you say three will make it, or at
so
least
the
three, or
it's more than three is the question. So I think I have
okay,
three making it, but
okay,
to say that it's going to be 50-50 or even more, that's kind of where I draw the line, and that's sort of when I posed this question. I
okay,
felt like that was a good dividing line. So
okay. I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I mean, we have a lot of good Americans going over, but again, I think the Europeans will step it up,
yeah,
and
I mean
they'll sit there.
you're
I mean,
you're probably right.
I think a lot of good Americans are going to go over there, and they're going to run into some interesting meta choices from the Europeans. They're going to be like, well, this isn't mains. I don't know how to play against it.
Too. Yeah, I mean that could be totally true, and that's definitely what we're most excited to see is sort of it's going to be about
Yeah,
70 players, and it's going to be like 2/3 Europe, 1/3 USA.
yeah.
So like it'll definitely be a very interesting meta for sure. So the next one is the new light side deck legend will be the most popular light side deck. Is that it's a hit or just a boring conversation? Anyway.
You're saying Legend is going to be the most popular light.
Most popular
I got
light
to go
side
with
deck, and this is day one,
day
obviously.
one. I got to say it's a boring conversation.
All right, so you're going boring.
And so you've got Throne Room,
Yep.
you've got Hitco, you still got OA. I know OA took a nice little hit with not being able to play Hark, but it's still OA.
True.
And you have Bastion and Emil, who are probably the best 1A, 1B players of OA showing up.
Yeah.
I don't think I think OA is going to be really good in the meta, especially right now, especially over there. Not only that, we've got QMC, which is going to be a riser. I know Tom Haid loves his QMC.
And Emil's a QMC
Got
player as well.
Yeah, Emil's a QMC player as well. Watch Your
And
Step is still
Angelo.
popular.
Angelo is a QMC player.
Yeah, yeah. And there's just so many options for light side. I think Legend is good. I think Legend's going to be a D3 deck, and I still think the best deck is out there. I don't see the one that. Don't get me wrong, Greg piloted the deck amazing at Continentals, but I still think the best version of it is out there, and people haven't saw it yet.
It's still still relatively new. Even despite that, I think I'm gonna go with it's a hit here.
Oh God,
Having played a little bit with it, and knowing that KTOD guys are going to be there with Steve Baroni and Justin Desai, and Greg Shaw just played it. I think that was sort of its coming out party was the top eight, and sort of a sneak preview. Justin Branch and I on the interview we talked a little bit about Legend. Wouldn't
okay.
surprise me at all if he played it based on that conversation. So I think this has potential to be it's a hit. Maybe not for day one, but which was sort of the question. But I definitely think, like you said, day two, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see it. We'll see a lot of them. But
Uh,
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that everyone's really excited. The European guys I know love playing with the new stuff. So I think we'll see a lot of Legend, and I'm going to go with
I
it's a
still
hit.
think I think out of the American players, you're going to see a lot of Throne Room, unfortunately, just because the meta is right now really, really, really strong for Throne Room. So I guess we'll see this Saturday.
Yeah, well, we're almost there. All right, number three. Kyle Kruger will go missing in Germany. Is that it's a hit or a boring conversation anyway? These aren't all
Oh,
serious, by
yeah.
the
You know
way,
what?
in case you
This
haven't.
is. I'm gonna say boring conversation anyway.
All right.
Oh, partly because one, I don't think Kyle's gonna leave the United States. I know he's had
Has he
a
not
lot of
left
issues
yet?
with. Who knows? It's Kyle.
Uh,
I've heard him. I've seen him not make events because
oh,
he had plane
it's
tickets,
oh
his
yeah.
job.
There's just been ones where he just like didn't wake up for 2 days. Like
Yeah,
it's just
and
Kyle
at the same
Kruger.
time, I think at the same time though, it is Kyle, and I know he loves going to the events only because he wants to play Avalon and Resistance.
Yeah, I mean this is obviously this isn't just the Endor Grand Prix. This is a
Yeah,
little bit
and
more of an adventure. So
yeah,
I
at the
had
same
to
time
kind of
though, I mean,
include him. 'Cause he was on the
I can
list,
see
so I
I
had to
can
include him.
see Kyle. I was gonna say I can see Kyle going over there strictly to drink beer and play Avalon. But at the same time, this is Kyle. He hasn't had the best luck at making events.
Right.
So what
So
about you?
I'm gonna say the same. I believe that he will make it back, or like you said, possibly not ever start the adventure to begin with. But I also have put several people in charge of making sure that he comes back. He is a national treasure, and we would like to keep him in the
Yeah,
United
I hope
States.
you're not putting Jan in charge.
Jan shouldn't be in charge of anything about where the beer store is.
Well, beer store and other. Yeah, yeah. Even at Continentals, I think he disappeared for about an hour and came back with a few six packs.
That's just what he does. He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man. All right, number 4. Back to the serious questions. This one's a pretty good one. I thought about this one for a minute or two.
Okay.
All right, there will be 0 players in the top 15 in day 1 that play dark side mains, and traditional dark side main platform: Hunt Down, Combat, CRV, Endor. I Am Your Father base decks, or you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
0 in the top 15.
In the top 15, I got to say boring conversation. I
Yeah,
just don't
I
see
the
dark
num
side main.
the number of where to cut off. I was thinking about top 12, but then
Yeah.
I felt like maybe just a little more there. I just
I,
felt like
I mean,
dark
look.
side mains are just they're in a tough spot right now. So I'm having a hard time
It,
predicting.
well, that's the thing. Like dark side,
I can
dark
see some
side
day
mains
2
are
decks.
associated. I can see a few day two decks. Like I can see day two, maybe like a Coruscant CRB or an Endor, kind of like what Worst played at Continentals.
And Joe Olson at a day 2 at Endor played like a first order based combat deck. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, but I mean that's not really a main type of
I
deck.
mean, it had
I,
mauls and lightsabers and stuff. So, and it played a mains platform. That's kind of what
well,
I was going with. Was
I mean, okay, just
Darkside
because
mains platform seemed to be kind of in a weak
I was gonna
spot
say
right now.
just because a deck has a Darth Maul in it, I don't see it as a main deck. That's like saying Watcher Sept is a mains deck because it plays 4 copies of Luke Jedi Knight.
Yeah, that's fair. I see where you're
I,
going with that. But but
but looking
basically,
looking at the potential, of these the top 15, the top 20, top 30, I can't really see anybody on the list that I'm just like, oh, that person is going to play mains. I don't see it.
right.
And with Throne Room being as strong as it is, do you really want to go up against like a Luke sitting there with possible Clash in hand or Blaster Deflection or Jedi Concentration? No. You want to work around that. I mean, you almost have to have like I have you now's multiple battle destinies or ways of canceling Luke's game text. I as I can I see more court than I do anything for Dark Side right now.
Okay, so that's actually a good precursor to the next question. Uh, Court will be the most popular Darkside deck on day 1. Is that it's a hit or a boring conversation anyway?
Foreign conversation anyway, and map is still really good. That's why I'm thinking
Do you think map will be the
map.
number one? That was sort of
I
the
think
two
map's going to be
that
number one.
that was the
Map's going to
two
be
that
number
I
one.
was deciding behind between
I
was
think
map and
map is
court.
going to be number one. Um, map's going to be number one for dark side, and you know what? I'm thinking for light side, the best, the most played deck is going to be No Idea.
Okay.
Two very similar kind of field decks. Like I'm just going to throw characters at you until you get overwhelmed.
Right. So I have Legend as the most played light side, but I haven't really. I mean, Map is probably a good choice, but Map and Court were the two that I was kind of deciding between. So that's definitely.
So pick one. So pick one. I mean,
Well, so the
we're
question
debating.
is, Court will be the most popular deck. So I'm gonna say it's a hit. I think Court will be more popular than Map. I think with the Americans coming over, and I think some of the European dark side players will be pushed away from Map. Um,
I, but at the same time, I mean, think about this though. With the American invasion, you have to, as even as a European player, you have to think, okay, they're going to be playing throne rooms.
well, but
Throne room kind of.
I feel like
I mean, Court has a bad deck. Is a bad. It's kind of a bad matchup against throne room unless you specifically tech for throne room.
if you're expecting a
So
lot
that's why I think
of if you're
Map
expecting a
has a
lot of
better
No
chance.
Idea, then I think Court is a really good matchup for No
Oh yeah,
Idea.
I think yeah, I think that too, and that's where it just becomes in the we're right now we're in more of like a rock paper scissors type of a meta.
100%, 100%.
So
Yeah, I think no, if you're especially like you just said, No Idea will be the most played light side. I think if that's true and if that's what the prevailing wisdom is over there, then Court will be the response to that. And so that's where I'm at. I'll say it's a hit to
okay,
the. All right,
okay.
the next one is a silly question.
Well,
Back to the goofy
every
ones.
silly question, and no question, silly question.
This one's pretty silly.
Oh, oh boy,
One of the commentators will fall asleep during World's commentary because of the
it's a hit.
ungodly hour. It's
It's a hit.
that one was quick.
Uh,
You were it's a hit
yeah,
quick there.
I'm not thinking it's me. I think it's going to be my partner in crime, especially if he's chowing down on or drinking all those Red Bulls. So
It's gonna crash at some point.
yeah, you're going to crash.
I just had Red Bull for the first time. I really like Red Bull. Have you ever had Red Bull?
I was going to say we got to get your wife a cattle prod,
Yeah,
tap you a few times, wake you up.
like especially
Unless of course we have like really riveting like
hopefully the
players.
games keep us awake, but you know sometimes you can get a matchup that just doesn't play super interactively, and it's a lot of.
Yeah,
And I'm just worried that we'll get one of those at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'll just be
yeah,
like kind of leaning here, and then I'll just sort of go. But I'm
yeah.
gonna do my
I,
best to stay awake, or at
I mean
least.
I've done the whole like switching working shifts
And
with
we
the military and
yeah,
everything.
I used to
So
work
I'm kind of used to it. I
overnights.
know how to do it. I'm gonna come home after work, crash,
Yeah.
wake up.
I used to work overnights out of hotels, and
Yeah.
so, I
So
mean,
I think we got this.
yeah, and Taco
I think like
Bill.
a little 30-second nap is good for the soul.
Yeah, Taco Bill has volunteered to help, and Mike Turner is going to help out on Sunday also. So like maybe we'll get in
Okay.
some situations where we can take shifts, and one of us can take an
Yeah.
hour long break, or take a shower or something, kind of refresh. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I would like to talk to Taco Bill about his Jets, but I don't want to talk too much trash
I mean
because
you gotta kind of feel sorry
that
for him.
does
I
feel.
mean, like okay, so Sam Darnold gets
I no,
mono,
you can't really feel sorry for them. They put themselves into this position. They're the
but
Jets.
the Trevor Simeon ankle was disgusting to
I know
watch.
that it was
All
disgusting, but
right,
I'm just
well
saying it's the
we're veer.
JGS sucks for a
All
reason.
right, all right. We're veering a little too off topic here.
A little bit.
Okay, so back to it's a hit. I will also go with it's a hit. One of us will
Okay.
fall asleep at some
Place your
point.
bets now and see who goes to sleep first.
Yeah, that'll be a good
I'm giving 10-1
side
odds
wager.
on Jerry.
All right. I have usually have a hard time sleeping in weird circumstances, but sometimes. All right, this one's sort of serious and sort of fun. Matt Carulli will finish higher in the standings than his brother. Is that it's a hit or just a boring conversation anyway? That was a good one, right?
You go first. You go first.
I will
I can't.
say
I don't want to answer this one yet. I want you to go first.
boring conversation anyway. Justin has had better results, I think, overall. Matt has had a couple days in the sun, but I wouldn't place any wagers on him. Let's just put it that way.
So I wanna my gut, my brain is telling me it's a hit. My heart is telling me it's a hit. I'm sorry, Matt.
It's a hit.
It's a hit. Just there's No, wait, no, wait. No.
So you want Justin higher or
Justin's gonna finish higher.
okay? Then that's a boring
I,
conversation anyway.
yeah, it's a boring conversation
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm. I think I kind of know what Matt and Justin are playing. And last year, even Justin finished higher than. I know he finished higher than Matt.
He finished higher than
higher.
a lot of people.
Well, yeah,
If I remember.
he finished higher than a lot of people. But I'm just saying, as the Pittsburgh crew, he finished higher than Pat Johnson, who was from Pittsburgh. Now he's in Virginia, so he kind of shares and everything. He finished higher than Josh Mack. He finished higher than myself. He finished higher than Sean Dixon. He finished higher than.
Finished higher than everybody but Reed, right?
No, he finished higher than
Finished
Reed.
higher than Reed? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure because I knew they were pretty close. Were they both top 8?
Yeah, he lost the play-in game to Steve.
Oh, that's
Salucci.
right. It was a play-in situation.
It was
That's
Salucci's
right.
throne room versus Justin's AOBS. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, he's been in some.
Spoiler alert, I think Justin's my dark horse.
We'll get to that after this. After this, we're going to do our top
we'll get into
8s
that.
and our dark.
Yeah.
We have a couple more of these silly things left, so
Silly things, yeah.
bear with us.
But yeah, no, sorry, Matt. There's no way you finished higher than.
All right. And all right, we've got 3 left. There will not be a repeat champion of Worlds this year. So I believe the 5 that I had written down were Bastion, Emil, Angelo, Hade, and Desai. At least the ones that are there, or confirmed or whatever. So is it's a hit that there will not be? So basically, are you taking
of the ones there?
Yeah. If you say boring conversation, then you're taking, the field. If you're saying it's a hit, or sorry, the other way around. If you say it's a hit, you're taking the field. If you say boring conversation, you're taking those 5.
The problem is, I know that there's 70 people, but you're talking about if 3 of them have won Worlds twice.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just included the ones who won it at least once.
Yeah. Well, I know, and I'm not taking the field.
So you're taking
I'm taking the 5.
That's a boring conversation
I'm taking
anyway.
the 5.
All right. So you're going
Oh
with.
yeah, I gotta go with the 5.
You're going with the 5.
I'm going with the 5.
All right. Well, I have my winner. Go ahead.
Okay. No, you go. You go first. I want to see your boring conversation, or if it's a hit.
It's a hit. It's a hit for me. I am taking.
You're taking the field.
Yeah, I have my winner picked out. We'll get to that here in just after the next couple questions, and it is not one of those 5. So
I'm going to say this right now. I hope you don't have to revert your prediction.
I don't know if I can. It's on television now, or
I don't know. There's plenty of Fox News anchors who have tried to revert their stuff.
Fox News
That's
is not
besides the
news. All right, so now that we'll go to the final one. Oh no, sorry, we got 2 left.
Second to the final, huh?
Yeah. This one's kind of a similar one to the last one. Day 2 will be won by a member of the KTOD. So I think the only 2.
You're saying somebody?
Yeah, the championship. Yeah, will be won by someone on KTOD.
So that includes who?
I think the only 2 that are going are Steve and Justin. I don't include Greg. Greg is not a full-time member of KTOD.
I don't know. He won Continental.
All right. Well, okay. For the sake of this, since he did just win a turn, you can include him. You can include him. That's fine.
Well, here's another thing: is
those
Emil
3
part of KTOD?
No. The traveling members of KTOD.
I know that Emil's traveling.
Oh, shut up. You know what I mean.
I mean, technically, he's not. He doesn't live in there.
Stop being.
He doesn't live in Germany.
Stop being semantical.
Okay. I have to.
All right. So basically, a similar one to the last one. Baroni, Desai, Shaw, Emil. Do you want those 4, or do you want the field?
In the chat, Greg's in the chat. He's an ally.
He's an ally. So let's say I only included Justin and Steve.
I'm gonna say that Shaw is what, Italy to KTOD. He's Italy to their Germany and Japan.
I don't know if Italy would want Greg Shaw, but.
Shaw.
All right. So do you want those 2 players, or do you want the field?
I want the field.
You want the field.
The field.
Okay, I am also taking the field. So that
No offense,
is
Justin. No offense,
that
Steve.
is a boring conversation anyway. But
Okay. Next.
I have them both in the top 8.
Yeah,
All right.
I have one at the topic.
So the last question. Oh, I hit the wrong button here. The last question is the surprise deck from 2019 Worlds, and this is kind of an allusion to what we did last week with Joe Olson, will be Prophet. Do you think the surprise deck from Worlds will be Prophet? Because that was
I
sort of
think
what
Prophet.
you think. Prophet wins Worlds, so
think
you're
Prophet
that.
wins.
So it's a hit then, right? I think I'm with
I
you.
don't think it's much.
I don't know if it
I
wins
think-
Worlds, but I think it'll be
Joe
a huge. It'll be a big breakout
I
for that one.
think. I think Prophet is going to be piloted by the Day 3 champion.
See, I picked a good batch of questions. Did everybody have fun watching It's a Hit / boring conversation anyway?
I say we
'Cause
do this again.
I came up with it 4 hours ago, and look how much fun it was. All right.
How much PTI have you been watching recently?
I've watched PTI since I was like 14 years old. So
So
I actually don't even watch it
you
anymore. I
started
just
about
listen to the.
So you started about 2 years ago.
Oh, shut up. I'm 33 years old. I actually don't.
So old.
I know, right? I don't even watch it anymore. I just listen to the podcast when I'm in the shower. It's pretty
That's
much
what I need to start
it's
doing.
pretty much the best shower podcast in the history of shower podcasts.
Speaking of showers, do you drink beer in the shower? Have you ever
Oh
had
yeah,
shower beer?
shower beers are
Okay.
great. One of my favorite punk bands has a song called Shower Beers. It's great.
So let's get moving.
Okay, so now,
Let's move it on.
without further ado, top 8 predictions.
So first,
Yeah, so we have. I asked Dan. I did earlier to pick a top 8, and then we're also going to pick 3 players who we consider to be kind of a dark horse. Someone who would not surprise us if they made top 8, but we certainly we don't really have them projected to make it at this moment. So, and I didn't put any of mine in order, and I think that's what you said also. So,
Yeah, so
these are just going to be read
no
off.
offense.
Yeah, this isn't like number 1, number 2, number 3. This are just the people who I expect to be in the top 8 cut. And
Same.
so I'm going to go with Hayes Hunter, Tom Kelly, Justin Branch, Gregory Shaw, Justin Desai, Steve Baroni, Emma Wallen, and Bastion.
So right now, off the top of my head, you've got
I
3
got
Europeans.
3 and 5 is my
3 and
my
5.
breakdown. Yeah,
So you say Tom Hayde.
I said Tom Kelly. I did not say Tom Hayde.
So you said no Tom Hayde.
No Tom Hayde.
You said no Joel Olson.
No Joe Olson. Sorry, bro.
No Brian Fred.
No B Fred. I love you to death, but I don't see it.
So, and these are just the Europeans. No Angelo.
No Angelo. He was a tough one, but
Yeah. Ooh.
but- so that was kind of where the question
I think
earlier
just,
came.
Just
Yeah.
looking at this. So
So I'll do it through it one more time. Hayes Hunter, Tom Kelly, Justin Branch, Gregory Shaw, Justin Desai, Steve Baroni, Bastion, and then Emil. I don't want to screw up Bastion's last name, so
Winklehouse.
Winklehouse.
Yeah, Winklehouse.
Winklehouse.
Yeah.
It's
You
just-
want to? So
Okay, and then my 3 dark horses.
You have 3 dark horses.
I picked Kyle Kruger, assuming he doesn't get lost or not make it there to begin with.
if he gets on the airplane,
DDM, David DeStefanis, I think is his name. I don't know.
we'll
Probably
just call him DDM.
DDM, and then I have
DDM.
to go with my local hometown BFF Jan Westergaard. He's made World's top 8 twice. It's been a very long time, and he's actually been playing a decent amount this summer. He played out here in Colorado, played in Washington, so maybe he can.
He did play at Continentals. He
Yeah,
out
and he
with
came
that
as a Continentals.
throne room
He's
Jedi business.
yeah, he's been rocking that. I kind of turned him onto that a little bit. I'll take the credit for that.
I hope he doesn't take those decks over with him then.
But anyway,
Jan, if you're watching, please don't take decks suggested by Jerry. Please, for us. I want to see you play good decks.
I had a deck, and then he like took 30 cards out and put 30 different cards in. So it's just sort of like barely attached. It's barely saucy, we'll say. All right, so what's your top 8, sir?
So my top 8 again. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I've got Emil,
Mm-hmm.
Bastion,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Desai,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Olson.
Okay.
I got Angelo.
Okay. Yeah,
I
like I
like
said, he
Angelo.
was a tough cut for me for sure.
Yeah, Angelo. I mean, so how many was that?
You said Emil and Bastion and Justin and Angelo and Tom Kelly. So we need
Tom Kelly,
three
Joe
more.
Olson,
Yeah, and Joe Olson. So we need two more, I think.
Hayes Hunter,
Hayes Hunter. Okay.
and I think the last person to actually sneak in and get it is going to.
I didn't hear your last one. Are you still there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I really, really. I mean,
Are you're still deciding?
I
Okay.
think. I think. Yeah, I
See,
think it's
I
Kieran.
wrote mine down on a
I
clipboard.
was. I know I should have. I left it at work, but Kieran. Kieran. I can't. Catwall. He's
Okay.
Catwall.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's Kieran is how you
Yeah,
pronounce
I
it.
think
Yeah. Sorry
again,
for
I
our
like the
terrible
four
English.
European. No offense to anybody who is American.
Well, if you went Emil, Bastion, Angelo,
And
Kieran.
Kieran.
Oh, you didn't put Silver Glen. Okay, that's the one who I had that
Yeah,
you didn't. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I like Silver Glenn. I think he's a good player, but the field, how it is just so open. I think like you're gonna have the top tables essentially eating each other.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be a
Once you
bloodbath.
get to, you're gonna have like 4 and O's who are gonna be playing in round 5, who are literally like Emil, Bastion. So you're gonna just see like the top people playing each other and just each other alive. So I think somebody who we don't think is going to be able to sneak in and get a top 8, and that's what I'm thinking. Like Kieran, I mean, he played well at Euros. He's one of the better. He's a really good player.
Oh yeah, like
So
you
why
know,
not?
I definitely have him in the top like 15 for sure. But when this field is loaded, like we've said, so it's so hard to
70 play.
it's so hard to win.
Think
And it's not even just 70 players. Like there's obviously a lot of European players who we don't know a lot about, but like the
oh,
top tier of this tournament is very strong. So,
yeah.
it's gonna be a lot
Even
of
the
fun.
even the mid tier. I mean, we
Yeah,
didn't say anything. Like I said, we did. I
there's
didn't have
guys
Drake Shaw.
there's guys like
We
Casper.
both of
There's
us
guys like
Casper.
yeah, um,
We said the Carulis, even them.
yeah,
I
Justin
mean,
Carulli,
they
Matt
might
Carulli.
surprise us.
Yeah,
I mean, and like we said, there's so many good European players who we didn't talk about. Like you
Who
said,
you-
DDM.
yeah. What about your dark horses? Did you
My
come?
dark horses.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to go with Kieran. First of all, I mean, I know I have him in my top 8, but he's somebody who we
That's
don't actually think of going into the top 8
that's fair.
because like we have so many good European players. We have so many good American players. Another one for me. I'm actually going to stick with another European, and I'm going to say Kevin Yop.
Okay. Yeah.
I Kevin's another good strong player over there. I mean,
He's Team
if
Wales,
anybody
right?
knows the cards, the what?
Is he Team Wales or is
Yeah, he's
he?
Team Wales. Yeah, and if anybody knows the cards, it's him because he spends so many times
He
getting them cut out.
definitely
You know,
knows the
all
virtual ones for
well,
sure.
yeah, he knows all the virtual ones. And then my last one is going to be I'm going to stick with a homer for me as well. I'm going to go with Justin Curley.
All right. Yeah.
I think I can see Justin making a top 12 effort.
Right. No, and that's I think I kind of had that too, and that's why I included him in part of sort of that conversation earlier. Was
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if one of those two guys was in the conversation
Which
for
one?
sure. Uh,
Matt and Matt?
between Matt and Justin, yeah, the two brothers there.
I think just Justin. No offense, Matt.
Hey. All right. So then on my clipboard, you can see maybe. Let's see if I can zoom in. Do you see the name that's circled? It says.
No,
All right. Well,
Tom Kelly.
anyways, yeah, it's Tom Kelly.
You're thinking Tom Kelly goes over there and takes down a team of a field of 70 players.
He was.
You know what? I'm actually, yeah.
He was this close last year. Do you remember that game last year with Bastion and him, the AOBS OA game? I mean, like there was
Yeah.
like Tom won the first one by like 18 or something like that, and then and Bastion got it. It was Watch Your Step. That's what it was. Bastion was playing Watch Your Step, but like I don't know. He was
Well, no.
he
So
was this
Bastion
close.
Bastion was playing Watch Your Step. Tom was
And
playing
Tang was
IE
agents.
Troopers.
Oh, was
he
it
came
Troopers?
down and just smacked down that
Yeah.
Luke.
I don't
And then-
remember all this, but he was this
Yeah.
close. He's won.
He was ridiculously close.
He's won big events, NPCs, other events,
Yeah.
regionals and
The,
things.
the problem is
I love Tom Kelly to
forgot his
death.
deck. Tom
He's
forgot his
that's
deck.
not he doesn't have any cards. He will
He
get cards.
forgot his-
It's
Yeah.
not a problem at all. 100%.
I mean,
He will be
coming
just
in
fine.
with- I mean,
He doesn't have cards to begin
I-
with, and he still wins tournaments. So
listen, I know.
they will make sure he has cards, and he will play the decks he was going to play, or they will get the ones that were shipped to him, by Chris Kelly, because I know Chris Kelly makes all of his decks, and they'll get him that.
Is that how you? Is that why you're saying that Chris Kelly beat Tom Kelly in at the MPC? Because
Well,
Chris Kelly made the decks.
I
Little
mean,
cheat oriented.
it's definitely sort of an advantage when you're going into, a top four match and you built the guy's decks. You know how many barriers he has and how many senses he has. I mean,
A little bit of cheatoring. That's fair.
but I mean, otherwise he's not gonna be able to play at all. So anyway, but yeah,
That's true. So
Tom has always been one of my favorite players. Anybody who knows me, certainly wouldn't be surprised to hear me say that. And I would just
I
love to
agree.
see him.
I
I would love to see
wholeheartedly
him
agree.
get that notch on his belt, because he's definitely
I
been in it for a long time, and he's won big things. But this would be a good one for him to probably punch a ticket to the Hall of Fame too if he did that.
I don't know. I think Tom has pretty much punched his ticket to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's a world class player. I I mean, he's won the NPC. He's won everything except for Worlds at this point. He's I say right now, him and Reed are almost essentially like the Dan Marino, Phil Mickelson of Star Wars CCG.
Yeah,
They haven't quite won their green jacket essentially, but
yeah.
I think I think they'll get there eventually. Those two, but I'm sorry, Tom. I don't see it this year with you. I think it's the Bastion Worlds.
You think it's a Bastion rule? I mean,
I think it's the Bastion
I mean,
Worlds. I
nothing
can't.
wrong. Nothing wrong with that.
We
The guy
can't.
knows how to play Star Wars.
The guy knows how to play. He came out of retirement last year, and
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was
yeah,
so
you
awesome
saw
seeing
what
him
he
win.
did.
The look
You
on his
saw what he
face when he won last year, it
so happy.
was one of the it was
And
unforgettable.
I think he's gonna the world's trophy is gonna go back to Germany or stay in Germany, and I think Bastion's gonna keep it again. He's gonna be the first. I think he would be the first back-to-back world's champion.
I would
I
think that.
want to
I
say,
think you're correct. I don't know for one. I'm not going to say
yeah,
100%, but I think you are correct. At least in the PC era for sure. Um.
yeah, but
So
I really think it's a Bastion.
hey, I mean that's definitely.
You'll be
I
right.
have him in the top 8. So I mean,
No take backs.
yeah, it's
Take
on
backs.
TV now and it's on Twitch now. No one, we can't go and edit that. So, um, all right. Well, that was kind of our silly rambling for 30, 40 minutes before we played our
Yeah.
interview. We'll come back afterwards and do a sign off,
Yep.
and all that. But without further ado, have fun watching my interview with Justin. One thing I will let y'all know, I played it back for myself, and his microphone was a little quiet, so turn your headphones up or your speakers up just a little bit to sort of compensate for that, because it could come
Yeah.
in a little weird for you, or a little quiet for you. So, yeah, enjoy. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. Working. 100%. All right. Hello, Star Wars players. Welcome to my very special interview with Justin Branch, aka Silver Glen. Thanks for joining me. How are you today, sir?
I'm really good, Jerry. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. Um, so today is Monday, the Monday before the World Championships.
Yeah.
Everybody will be seeing this on Wednesday when me and Dan do our Wednesday show. Um, so are you excited for
We're doing good.
Worlds? What's your prep been like? Are you thinking you're gonna have a good finish? Let's talk about Worlds.
Well, obviously, I'm so lucky that we have it in Europe. Is the first thing to say. I think it was brilliant
So
that
this will
there
be
is
your
one there.
first World Championships, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And with a young family, getting to America is unlikely. So fortunate that
That's
it's in
fair.
Europe, and it's a nice like hour and a half flight away, so dead easy for me. So I'm flying out Friday morning.
Okay.
So literally like 7 in the morning flight. So I'll be there by 10
Nice. Yeah,
in the morning. So yeah,
that's how we do travel here. When Worlds is in New Jersey or Minnesota, whatever,
yeah,
it's just fly in Friday morning, get there for the team event and
yeah.
all that. So that's
I'm
fortunate.
sort of jealous, really, because I'm on the forums. I'm following the group of Americans that flew over at the weekend, and they
Oh
seem to
yeah,
be
they are
rather,
having an
well, just
adventure.
too much fun in
Yeah.
Amsterdam. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's what Amsterdam is for, right?
Yeah,
Um, so besides this upcoming Worlds that you're going to, what other events? I remember last year when we spoke. I think it was just before, or just after the Euro Championship last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what other
yeah,
events have you
that's right.
traveled to?
Yeah. Well, if I'm honest, I've been to one other live event since the Europeans, and that was the Welsh Show, which was in, oh, I don't know, I'm going to say March, I
Okay.
think it was, around then. It's hosted up in Liverpool by
Okay.
Kevin, and he always does an amazing thing
Yeah,
with
Kevin is
bowling,
good.
loads of people. He is awesome. What an amazing tournament director he is. But um, it was an amazing tournament, really, because there were like 19 people who came.
That's a
Were
pretty good
just
turnout.
It's amazing. I mean, literally, people from all over Europe came. It felt like a mini European tournament in many respects. And
That's great.
no, I did well. I won it, so I was really pleased with
All
that.
right, that
So
was
that
going to be
went
my
well.
next question. So yeah, you took home that one. So all right,
Yep,
so and you obviously you've been playing a lot online.
yep,
So that's probably where a lot of your deck prep or meta sort of comes from.
def-
Um,
definitely.
what sort of decks are you thinking are going to be big at this event? Obviously, we had the Continental event like about a month ago in
Yeah,
Minnesota. There
yeah,
was, Throne Room, Map. Obviously, Greg Shaw kind of debuted the new
he did.
Luke Legend deck,
Yeah.
and clinched the finals with that. So, what are you expecting to see out of the meta this time around?
I think there's definitely been some development since Continentals and before Worlds. The activity on game, either with an alt or as an actual player, just was exponential in the last like few weeks. It's dipped off a little bit now. I think a few of the players obviously have started travelling,
Yep.
and it's a bit late for last minute changes. I hope
Right,
most
you should
people
be
have probably
should be
got,
pretty locked in if you're coming from the
yeah,
states at this
maybe one or
point.
two cards.
Yeah, like
Just
you
need
guys in
changing. I
Europe will
think.
have a little bit of a buffer zone because, like you said,
Yeah,
you can
true.
kind of make some final changes up to like Thursday
Yeah.
or Friday. But yeah,
But
those
the
guys
reality
should
is,
be
with the
locked in at this point.
yeah, exactly, half the field's probably got their. It's already arts and crafts finished, aren't they? Probably for most people.
Yep.
So I think the only real developments I think we'll see from Continentals, I do think we'll still see a lot of NI. No idea. I think we'll still see the mains coming across from America, although there was slightly more mains played in Europe recently. I
Hmm.
don't know quite why. Angelo, I think Joe mentioned it last week. Angelo came second to Quirin in the
Yep.
Hungarian one, playing Throne Room. Quirin played Legend.
Yep.
I think and Europeans love a new deck.
Hmm. All right, Holly, we seem to have little.
No,
Okay, sorry, we kind of
I
lost
think
connection there for a little bit, but I think we're back now.
I no. I mean, I can see. I
Okay,
can see you, Joe.
everything
Yeah.
seems to be good now. We about the last 15-20 seconds seemed to got a little
Okay.
garbled there. Sorry about that. Something in the
That's okay.
transmission.
That's right. I was just saying that I think we're going to see the Europeans play a lot of the new decks because it's exciting to do that. So I think we'll see quite a bit of Legend. We'll see quite a lot of No Idea. I think the Americans will bring mains with them, as will happen. Old Allies has been popular for quite a long time. So I
Yep.
mean, Light has so many choices really,
Right.
and
Yeah.
but I
So
think the big change we'll see is a lot more Legend. That's my
yeah,
prediction.
I think I kind of mentioned that I felt like maybe it was just people didn't have enough time to hammer out those legend decks quite yet. And in
No,
my my play testing with it, it's really fun, and it also seems like it's pretty good too. And I think there's a lot
yeah,
of room. The list that Greg won with, I even actually talked to him.
Steve's list.
Yeah, it was Steve's list, right?
Yeah,
Um, I talked to him about it, and there's a few changes that you can make, and there's a
yeah.
lot of open
I've
sort of
seen
endedness to
three,
it.
four, five different versions.
Hmm.
Some more space heavy. Some
Yeah,
playing the folk spins as opposed to profundity and hold up. I mean, there's lots of options that it's got.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So I think you're definitely right there. So anything on the dark side of the force that I mean, we saw a stunning move. Reed Smith played it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. Again, you guys summed it up pretty well last week. There's three, three or four
Do you think it'll
really
be Map
competitive.
and
Um,
ROPS and ISB, or
I mean,
maybe some
I think
court?
we'll see quite a bit of court. I think we'll see more court than because that matches up actually quite well against, well, apart from mains, but it matches up quite well against OA, no idea, even,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think that might agents. I think again will feature in there as but there's no doubt. I think probably I'd expect to see 30-40% of the field playing map. Probably,
Okay.
I think it could be as much as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really strong dark side deck, and it's been resilient to the sort of changes that we've wanted to make to it. Obviously, when it
Yeah,
first came out, it was way too fast. I think it's at a
yeah,
pretty decent level right now. But yeah, it's definitely a
yeah. I mean, dark side's behind light side, but map is holding its own as much as it can. I think probably.
right. Yeah, and like map is a deck that like it's to me it's not a very exciting deck, but it's a solid deck. And
Yeah,
so if you're looking to just, maybe go 2-2 with dark and go, 3-1 or better with your light side deck,
you
I
probably
think
need. I think you probably need either. You, I think light you'd hope to be going 4-0 with, to be
right.
honest.
Yeah. So you wanna if you wanna try to just play a deck that will get you at least two, maybe a third win, if you can grind
Yeah,
one out or catch a good matchup.
yeah.
But like as a light
I,
side player, if you're not ready for map, that's pretty much like one of the only dark side decks you have to like map and Rops. I
yeah,
think if you're
yeah,
not ready for those
exactly.
two, then you're
And
probably
I
doing
think
it wrong.
inevitably, if you're sort of prepping for map, be it blasters or the other version, you're sort of ready for court anyway. I think light is in a good place. It's
Yeah, that seems to be the prevailing wisdom is that the light side is it can play almost whatever it wants
yeah,
because you'll catch good matchups because dark is stretched so thin trying to
yeah,
work on its throne room matchup and its no idea matchup and it's just
yeah,
go on and on.
yeah.
So
I think what will be interesting is the stats. I mean, I think Greg Shaw signed up today to go, so I
I
think
did
we're
see
looking at
that.
like
Yeah,
70 players now.
that's
Apart
a
from being like quite a stacked field, obviously.
yeah. So with
I think
that,
we're going to see this could be the first tournament where maybe we drop under 20% for like my father before me.
okay. I would be all in favor of that. Obviously I
Yeah.
know there'll be some TRMs coming from my fellow American players, but with so many other players, and also I mean I feel like the like my father before me decks are sort of losing steam a little bit.
I
Um,
completely agree with you.
you
I
know,
think I think given the speed and proficiency of the newer objectives,
hmm
I mean Hitco really, apart from Chris playing Hitco, no one else really seems to be playing it very
yeah,
much.
yeah,
And similarly, throne room, yeah, it's starting first. It's always that's the big thing, really, isn't it? But these days, as we saw with Brian Mishke, when so the other matchups where Legend is pulling its sights, no ideas pulling everything,
yeah.
it's they're more efficient,
The
aren't they?
reliable generation from the legend deck where you just okay, I'll pull that one with this card and then this one will pull the other one. It definitely
And then I'll just pull one from the force pile if it's in there,
yeah,
and
and the free
oh, and
control
here's Luke anyway.
yeah, the
So
free
yeah,
control tunnel vision once per game. You're just like, well, I really need this card this turn. Oh, it's here. All right, sweet, I got it.
yeah. I
Um,
do. Yeah, it's got a lot of options, and I think it's a bit like last year when obviously we had agents on the top of the curve. I feel
hmm
Legend is somewhere near that top, and I think if you're not playing it, you're well, you're not helping yourself basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of in that same boat. I haven't played a tournament with it yet, but I've watched the games that Greg Shaw played with it. I've played with it a few
Yeah,
games myself, just locally,
yeah.
and it's a lot of fun also too. So I mean,
Oh yeah,
maybe there is some minor tweaks that we could make to it if
yeah.
it proves to be too
We'll see what
strong.
happens.
But I think this will
Yeah,
definitely be its sort of coming out party.
yeah,
We saw a little taste of it here at Minnesota, but like you
yeah,
said, with a little bit more time for people to
yeah,
flesh out those deck lists, I
yeah,
think Worlds here in Germany will definitely be
yeah.
legendary.
I think the big thing is it's the combination of that with a brave resistance and just being able to. I
Yeah,
think it's made that card even more potentially powerful than it used to be in OA anyway. In OA, it doesn't seem as important as suddenly it being able
right.
to do it to
I'll be
Legend. So
honest. When
it's
I
interesting.
when I first when I first was looking at the legend decks, for some reason I thought you could only use Brave Resistance in Old Allies. I thought it was like if your Jakku location on table, but it's just
Maybe you
your
hit the
episode.
errata just there, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I honestly thought that card was just made to help away. Obviously, maybe that was just sort of, it only was in that deck before, but I didn't realize its open-endedness that you can basically use it in any light side
Yeah.
deck that you want to make it,
And because Legend allows you to pull Jakku sites as part of the objective, you can
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, you can just pull the
right,
system too, also. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
And then you can just use the Brave Resistance for Holdo, of course, being a critical card now.
Yeah.
And starting the Profundity puller, suddenly Darkside's in a tricky space.
Yeah, definitely the instant beating the pull of the Profundity, and then if you run like 3 copies of Rose who is Destiny 5, and she's
Yeah.
just a copy of any other character that you want.
And it wouldn't surprise me if we do see that card. There's already a CB thread on it, as you're probably aware.
Mhm.
But I think it wouldn't surprise me if there was some subtle tweaks, maybe just to that card, because that might in itself dampen the other elements.
True, because I mean you don't even really need to take advantage of the Jakku generation bonus to really see, like really just being able to trade characters like that
Yeah.
is a super powerful effect. Like it's
Exactly.
when
I think, as you say, if Ray pulls Leia and suddenly, or you're pairing Chewie with someone else, or an ability 1 character's pulling an ability 5 character, is that
right. The one thing that I did find with the deck that I was that I was using was a lot of the characters in it weren't pilots, or they didn't do anything for me as pilots.
Yeah.
So that was one change that I feel like I was like, there wasn't a Corn Horn in that list that Greg had, or from Steve, or maybe there was, but yeah, like there was a few sort of character changes I would make to give it some more pilots.
I think the most recent ones I've seen, I think Justin Decisive Baroni have been, and other players have been playing it on Gemp, but I think I've started seeing the Might, Bale, Hera, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Hera would be a good inclusion also. She's got some really good game
It's
text.
such a flexible platform; it can really do whatever it needs
Yeah,
to do.
since you're not limited in your character pool besides, episode 1 characters.
Apart from Luke.
Yeah, or whatever. So yeah, like that's what it's just Luke. So yeah, it's not even that you're limited by all that much. So, but yeah,
And
so meta expectations out of the way. I think we
There
might
we
be
go.
having a little bit of a choppy moment here. Let's see if we can catch back
Okay.
up. Okay, you're here. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it kind of just slowed down for a sec. All right. So with the meta expectations sort of out of the way, what players are you looking out for? Obviously, we kind of touched on that a little bit, but
Yeah.
with the stacked field, we've got a good contingent of USA players. I think it's over 20 at this point.
23, I
23,
think.
24, something like that.
I
I don't know
have to
if,
say, you guys are what representation that is. That's amazing.
yeah. I mean, to all the guys that are able to make the trip, that's
Massive
awesome.
shout out.
We always
it'll make it just better.
we always
100%.
appreciate getting as many European players, Canadian players that we can get at the American events. So it's really cool to see that the coin is flipped, and we're sending out so many guys who just want to come in there and take that trophy back home.
Quite frankly, too many. I mean,
Too
don't
many.
Come at all. Don't come at all. Please.
See, they want that trophy. They want to bring it back here.
They see us as a soft touch. That's why.
Well, I mean, you've got Bastion, you've got Emil, you've got is Crypto. Is he
Not
not?
this
He's
year,
not going to
no.
be there. Okay. What about?
No, not this year.
And then yourself, you're one of the top European players. So who are some of the players that you're most specifically like either excited to see or excited to play against?
Yeah. Do you know what? It would just be great to meet them. You play who you play, don't you? You play the best you can, and hopefully you win out. But it would just be great to meet people in person, which
Right.
I wouldn't get the opportunity to normally do. So, I mean, genuinely looking forward to it all.
Awesome.
I've met obviously Bastion and Emil. I've met them and stuff, and they're really good players, and I expect them to be at the top of the. I hope from a European perspective as that
Right.
we'll all be at the top representing Europe, especially with this up and coming Ryder Cup style thing that Chris I think alluded was going to be happening. But
Yeah, I've heard some rumblings about that. That does sound like a lot like
Yeah.
sort of that team
but
event.
exactly. I think it's just going to be brilliant to meet the guys.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. It's
Awesome.
going to be really, really enjoyable.
Awesome.
Expectations, personally, well, I'm just going to play the best I can, and obviously hope for 8 very easy matchups.
So have you gotten to the point where you have enough cards that you're building your own decks, or are you still getting decks built for you?
The honest answer is this is the first event which I'm going to have to get decks built for me.
Okay.
Um, all the other events, there's been I've been able to use what I have.
Okay.
This is requiring some, a bit more speciality.
So I think I remember last time when we spoke about a year ago, you told me your collection was about the size of a shoebox.
It's now a big shoebox.
It's a big shoebox. Okay.
It's grown slightly.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
What shoes?
A nice long no shoes, just a nice long box. Those are like $2 at the card store. I can afford them. All right. So obviously, I wish you the best of luck. Say hi to everybody for me.
I will do.
And perform well. You're definitely one of my favorite players. You're online all the time on Gemp, and you're definitely you're an up and comer. So I want you to do well.
I'm hopeful.
But so my next big topic I kind of want to discuss with you is the OCS. You ended up finishing as the #1 player in the top 16, and so you'll have the opportunity to pick first in the upcoming draft after Worlds is over. When we started the OCS, was it your goal to be the #1 finisher, or is it kind of just that you play your games every month, and that's sort of kind of how it happened?
So I think I just wanted to. I mean, I wanted to qualify as the first thing.
Of course.
I entered in it with the aim to qualify. I didn't expect.
Okay.
First, no.
Which
Not
month
at
did
all.
you end up being a qualifier for? Do you remember?
The first month, third month.
The third
It was
month?
month 3.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that would be like April, yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I
then
think-
since
and
April,
Since
April you
yeah.
knew you were qualified. Did that sort of like change your OCS games? Did you play sort of more loose and free, knowing that you were already qualified, or did you once you knew you were qualified,
what?
did you
I
kind of
had-
want to get
Yeah.
up in the standings and be able to make your at least have a top 2 or 3 choice?
Yeah. I had honestly, I had 2 months where there was 1 month particularly where I just thought, it doesn't. I'm qualified. Let's just have a bit more fun. But losing isn't fun particularly. So
No.
I quickly worked out that I wasn't enjoying it as much.
Okay.
So that was a bit of a drop-off month, and then the last month I wasn't really playing so much. And then as it got towards the end, Bastian had posted that he was just hoping to try and beat me. So as a consequence, I thought
You got called out. You got called out a little bit, right?
Try and win out. Yeah.
All right.
So, and I won out at the end, and managed to get a game at the last minute, the last day, and did it.
Nice. Well, congrats on that.
Thank you.
Did you have sort of like 2 or 3 decks that you played most of the time, or did you kind of vary it up? Obviously it's the 8-month stretch. Virtual sets are dropped here and there in between. But what were some of the decks that you played the most, and sort of what decks did you enjoy?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, anyone that's seen me play online will know that mainly I play anything casual fashion, but for the OCS I basically played map.
Okay.
So that was my stalwart, and then for the light side I played 4 different light sides: Throne Room, Old Allies. I played a few Yavin 4s and a WAPS. So
Okay.
a bit of a spread.
Okay. And of those 4 light side decks, was there one that you would say won you more games than the other, or was it pretty balanced?
I think, and I don't know, I don't want to speak unfairly, but Bastian and I finished 1 and 2, and I don't know if that's somewhat to do with a lot of the American players, whether they're online at the same time as us or not. I'm not suggesting we had an easy run in at all. I don't think.
Well, yeah,
but
just
there's got to be some element of that. But I think Throne Room probably won the most for me, percentage-wise.
And that's fair. I mean, during the last
Probably unsurprisingly.
yeah, during the last 8 months, Throne Room has been,
Yeah,
arguably
and I have to
the
say,
most.
the curve on Throne Room has been decreasing from back
Yeah,
in February to
definitely.
now.
Yeah,
It's dropped. It's
yeah.
still a tier 1 deck, but it's not your first choice
Yeah,
when you're
like
looking. I
like we
don't
kind
think
of
so anyway.
mentioned a little while ago. Yeah, those decks
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
think are a little on the downfall. But I mean,
yeah.
it's still
No
something
harm
you
in
have
that.
to be prepared for. And you, Throne Room, if you get the right 8 cards in your starting
Oh
hand,
well.
you can just win any deck, any matchup, just about. Like,
Yeah,
if
there
you
was
get
tricky ones.
one Speak, one Risa, one Luke, and like two or three of your defensive interrupts, you're just like, okay, I win. Like it's game. Like we've all been there and we've all been on the other end of it too. So.
We have, yeah, exactly. It can go either way, can't it? That's the risk. But yeah, but I've enjoyed the OCS. I think it's been a really good thing. I think this year it was interesting that I think there were fewer people playing. I think few of the very top players played.
Okay.
I think without a doubt that helps. Players who are more up and coming than established, it definitely helps. And yeah, but the aim wasn't to come out top, but it was brilliant to do so.
Yeah. And so, with having the first pick, obviously we're going to get to that after Worlds, but I
Yeah.
mean, is there any players that you want to avoid? Any players that you're not going to pick or,
Well, I mean, there's quite a few decent players in there.
of
I'd like to
course.
try and give myself the best opportunity possible.
Right. So last year, if I
But
remember correctly, you did get an opportunity to pick and you picked, was it Johnny Chu that you picked?
no,
Or
Dan got that wrong. What actually happened is that Casey picked me round
Okay,
one.
Casey
and then
picked
I
you.
played Johnny
And round
yeah.
two. Okay. So we had it, we were just a little backwards. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
I
got
played-
you
yeah,
got
so
called
Casey
out,
picked-
and now
I got
you're in a
called out.
position where you get to pick someone else out. So
Yeah, I mean the answer. They're all there on merit, and they all deserve their place there. And there's no easy game.
right,
Simple as that. I mean, you can look at percentages. Joe was percentages and all sort of stuff, but they're all there because they're good.
right. I mean, there's no slouches on that list.
No,
So
definitely not.
all right, and so are you looking forward to like how well did you do in the OCS? If I remember correctly, you were one of the top. Was it top 4 in the OCS final?
Last year I lost in the semis to Justin. He gave me a hidden base lockout lesson.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Because we did some commentary on those games, and I remember that one. So you got top 4 last year. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive. Obviously this year you'd probably like to win the whole thing, but for the OCS, like the whole experience, the 8-month grind, like. Did you enjoy it overall?
Grind.
Yes. Did you enjoy it overall? Like, did you? Is it something that
I do
that you
think
want
it
us to keep?
became-
Go ahead.
I'm enjoying it. I think it does become grindy.
And that's
You're
yeah.
right.
Like
I think the novelty was last year. This year was great because it was exciting again, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to next year. But I think it's fine to have a whole one through, but I wonder if there should be something like every 2 months, a little mini thing, or just something to make it a bit more.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was kind of going with that. Was I like the OCS and it's great, but I
Yeah.
do feel like maybe if we made it like 2 separate 4-month seasons as opposed to the 8
One
month,
8 month.
where it's
And
just
then perhaps anyone that qualifies in the first 4 months doesn't have to play the next 4 months. So
Yeah.
the field. So, for example, as you say, if you took the top 8 players that qualified through in the first 4 months, they can't play in the next 4.
yeah.
You can maybe reduce the entrance fee by instead of being $50, make it $30 or something. So
Yeah,
it's still-
there's ways to sort of adjust, but yeah, like that was I didn't end up playing a lot of my OCS games. I did pay for the whole
You
season.
did it for the donation. You know
Right,
that.
right. I just honestly, I just I don't end up gemping as much as I'd like to. I need to get more games in, but
Well, so that's what I think. I wonder if that's a good way of like making it into 2 seasons, season 1 and season 2, perhaps, where
yeah, like
you know,
spring and fall.
And that way, it also means if you don't qualify in the first season, there's a real incentive to maybe some players that the top players have
Mm-hmm.
qualified, or some of the top players might play season 2, not season 1, and
Right,
Be
because
my
also I've
philosophy.
the allure of like maybe qualifying as an at-large bid if you're not able to go like 11-1,
Yeah,
12-0 in a month or
yeah.
whatever, like
It's not easy.
but kind of clearing that at-large standing
Yeah,
after 4 months, because then if you
I
can't get
like
enough
that.
games in,
Yeah,
um,
sure. I mean,
then
what you
it's
could do is you
tough.
have, yeah, two lots of eight qualifiers, of which you have, maybe the top one, or or have you maybe you make it 32. Maybe you just make it
Wow,
a little bit bigger.
yeah, and
I
expansion could
know,
be
I know
good.
it becomes compressed, but do you know what? I think we could all get our games in if you had to.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You
and
know, I just wonder if it's like the lottery, isn't it? It's great being the one person that wins, but actually we want more people to enjoy it.
exactly, yeah, yeah, I could see an expansion working, making it have a
But
longer
whatever. The guys, the PC know what they're doing. So
most of the time.
I do think though it does get a bit grindy. You're
Yeah, that
finishing
was
at
sort
your
of
nine
my
hundredth game.
that was kind of where I was going with that. Was like
Yeah,
once you get there, it's like, oh, well. And plus for all those guys who were in that at large pool, like I mean, you had the
yeah,
luxury of qualifying, in April,
yes,
but like
yeah.
all those guys who were in that
Well,
grind to
Chris
keep.
got in by 0.1% on the last day,
You're
didn't he?
right.
I mean,
Like
because he had to
imagine.
play all the games. So
Right,
yeah,
and he had to worry about not only his strength schedule and who everyone else, like there's
yeah,
all those variables that come into it, and it's just like
completely.
it would probably just drive you crazy. So yeah, maybe just a way to clear that out and make it less of a grind, I think might be
Yeah.
a way to improve it. So cool. Well,
Yeah, I
that
think it can make it just keep it exciting, short and exciting.
right, right, just like our show.
There we go.
So that pretty much covered all the topics that I had set forth for this adventure. Um,
Cool.
was there anything else that you wanted to add on there, or anything else you're
No,
looking?
no.
All right.
I think I should thank you in advance for getting up at an ungodly hour to potentially do some worlds
Yeah,
commentating.
it's
So
not a big
thank
deal.
you.
Yeah, I've been kind of looking for an excuse to take off a couple days off of work anyway.
There we go.
So this makes it a little more justifiable, saying that I can do some of my volunteer stuff here. So
Amazing.
yeah, and it's always fun being a part of it. I also, if everything goes through, it's going to be the first time we've ever had a live stream from across the pond. So
Yeah.
being a part of that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, being a part of that will be
Yeah.
exciting no matter what, and I'm
Yeah.
looking
I mean, I
forward
think we can
to.
show just by doing this that it can work. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we can get this, then all we need to
yeah,
do is like strap a couple of PVC pipes to a camera and set it on a table, and we're set.
there we go. Surely it works.
All right, thank you so much, Justin, for
Hey
being
Jerry, you take care
my
now.
guest today, and we will
You're welcome.
we'll see you again real soon. Good, best of luck to you at Worlds.
And you.
And we are back. Hello, Star Wars players.
We are back. How is everybody? I hope everybody enjoyed that.
That was pretty fun, right?
Yeah, I'm just I was surprised you got up that early.
Honestly, no, we did it kind of like after I got off of work. It was kind of late for him. So thank you, Justin, for staying
Ah,
up late. It was probably about 10 o'clock in the evening for him, I think.
yeah, thank you, Justin.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed our silly game show sort of thing in the beginning and the art interview that I was able to bring you. So best of luck to everybody who is at Worlds. I know you didn't have as many viewers as we usually get on this show. Probably a lot of guys are over there, at getting to Worlds and all that stuff. So,
Enjoying themselves.
yeah,
I know there's a bunch of people on the tour. I know
yeah.
that B. Fred is having a hell of a time over there.
Oh yeah, you wanted me to show that.
Yeah,
Let me see if
B. Fred
you do
doing
some
his little thing
do
over
some
there.
talking while I pull that up here for one
But
second.
yeah, we're again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, if you have any comments, concerns, if you want to tell Jerry to stop wearing the Colorado Avalanche hat, maybe wear something new, maybe like a Broncos, I don't know. Just go ahead and email us. It's literally right down there. It's SWCCG at Holotheatre at Gmail. Uh, if you are watching and if you are going to be in the OCS, go ahead and I think that's where we're actually going to have people send over the picks so that way we can see them and do the live draft. We might have some people from the OCS on so that way they can actually be like, I want this person on air. So we'll talk to them as as we get to it. Yeah, you can see B Fred. They're all just wandering around. I think he got a bag full of bagels or something, maybe some French bread. I don't know. But he threw this up on the forums earlier, and I just thought it was like an interesting little picture of B Fred standing there.
Oh, yeah, that is
Yeah,
that
I
is
don't
pretty
know.
great.
One of them is B Fred. I think B Fred's usually the one wearing the muscle shirts, or I'm a little surprised he's not wearing the something Buffalo Bills related.
I'm sure he's saving that for the live stream at Worlds. All of his
I'm
Buffalo Bills
hoping.
gear.
I'm hoping because I mean the Bills are a decent team. They're better than
Are
my
they
team and your team
are
right
they
now.
are they 2-0 or are they 1-0?
I think. I don't know. I mean, we're both falling win loser teams. But
I
yeah,
don't want to talk
so
about that last game. That was too heartbreaking. Anyways,
game.
thanks again for joining us. Safe travels to everybody who is going to Worlds already there, and good luck. May the force be with you. May all your destinies be the ones you want. And
May you only draw 6, 7s, and 8s,
but unless you're sensing
possibly
something,
9.
what if you're sensing something? You don't want to draw that. Um,
Well,
may all your pullers be in your opening hand.
oh God, Jerry.
You
Okay,
know, like
okay, Jerry.
we could go
It's
on and
time.
on. Okay.
We could, but yeah, everybody, good luck, have fun, joy. And hopefully we'll see everybody live this Saturday and Sunday. I know it's gonna be early for me, early for you, so
Be here.
we'll sign off tonight.
Keep
Be here
keep us
watching.
awake, people.
Yeah, the more people watching and responding to us and asking us things, yeah, we will hopefully have more information for you. If you honestly like, I want to see more pictures from people at Worlds. I like seeing the pictures, seeing what people are doing.
Yeah, we'll see if we can
So
get some
if
more.
anybody over,
We'll run a
anybody
little.
over,
We can run a slideshow during the dead time at the stream
yeah,
this weekend. So
yeah, maybe we'll talk to Mental and be like, hey, take some pictures. I
yeah.
don't know.
All
We'll
right.
figure out something. But
It's
yeah, we'll
been
see everybody later. Take care.
Yep, it's been
Enjoy your
great.
Wednesday nights.
May the force be with you. Adios.